the past will be loose from oppressions at last. How united we ever will stand for the welfare of all in this land. Hail hooray to our island, St. Andrew, Old Providence and Little St. Catherine. Soon your children will gain rich attainment, every merit whichever receive. No more strangers will rule in our home, no injustice to cause us to roam. We have the help of the Almighty above, who shall lead us along in His love. Hail hooray to our island, St. Andrew, Old Providence and Little St. Catherine. Soon your children will gain rich attainment, every merit whichever receive. No more evil on us shall befall. Soon there'll be peace and justice for all. We're together as one in God's might. To gain freedom we'll win every fight. Hail hooray to our island, St. Andrew, Old Providence and Little St. Catherine. Soon your children will gain rich attainment, every merit whichever receive.
Is good morning. We're back here again on our Friday streaming program, The Voice of the Raizal Nation. We here again to carry through our next session of the accountability report of the Raizal Council, the Raizal Authority. Last week we went to our first part, and Today again, we are here again to give continuity to that process. And I have some problem with that. Hello, good morning. Having some problem. Okay, so sorry, we having some very serious technical problem today on the island. They presented a massive damage of the internet casted from Cartagena. That's a note that we received here. So we apologize. We will try to do our best here in the midst of all these difficulties, technical difficulties. So I retake back here to say that we are giving continuity to our accountability report of the Raizal Council, the Raizal Authority. Today we will continue on some topics. We will treat about the international presence that we have at the Inter-American Commission of Human Rights, what we are doing right now, and the antecedents around that international instance of human rights. As well, we will talk about the issue of reparation in Colombia, as we are involved or affected by the armed conflict in this country. And a third, we will talk about the goods that is seized from illicit activities like drugs trafficking and that are being managed by a special office here, the site. These three topics we will develop this morning. Um, we start here by this topic around Inter-American Commission of Human Rights, where we stopped the last week. We want to say that the work of the Raizal people through different instances of representation, even before the Raizal Authority, we approached this Inter-American Commission. The first time that we have a memory of was in 2003, when a delegation of the Raizal people, led by the Archipelago Movement for Ethnic Native Self-Determination, AMNSD, visited the Washington, a delegation formed by members of the Raizal people from Providence and San Andres. And we made presence there in 2003. We had a space there to carry a long list of complaints that we was passing through on the archipelago. basically caused by the same Colombian state. That is 23 years ago. That is the antecedents of this process. And we have to recognize that at that moment we wasn't so knowledgeable of this inter-American system of human rights. Pastor Edgardo, we have you online.
Yes, sorry, Hara, I wasn't hearing you, and I was praying and talking, and never know I was not connected.
Okay, okay, yeah, we're having many different technical problems this morning, but that don't going to stop us. I started here, Pastor, with this topic. Sorry, I have some of our presence there at the Inter-American Commission. That background in 2003. And I was saying that we didn't have much experience at that time. Still, we do our best, and we carry extensive document, a huge document of complaints that we work on very seriously. Complaints of all issue, military, government affectation, in all or aspect of our life, environmentally, culturally, economically. Unfortunately, through that lack of knowledge, we didn't give continuity and to the process, the proper following up. We learned on the way. We made a alliance with different organizations afterward that have more experience, attorneys in foreign, United States and elsewhere, in Colombia. And recently, from 2019 up to this year, 2026, we had made about three intents applying to the Inter-American Commission to have what they call a thematic hearing. That's one of the first steps you go through for this instance of human rights can know your case. Do they tend to case it through the whole America? And a lot. The thematic hearing is a moment where you can get over to them the understanding of your situation before you step into a specific, a complaints or demand that afterward, if they accept it, they pass it to the court, Inter-American court. The Inter-American Commission do that. So I say from 2019 until this year, up to last month, I think, or this first part of this month, we have a chat again with the president of the Inter-American Commission and the reporter for Afro descendants people there in that same Inter-American Commission. And we hope, we know it's not easy that to be selected, but we had made in the last 2 years a direct approach to members of this commission, making lobby and building consciousness to be selected very soon in their next call for hearings. If you'd like to say anything here, Pastor Albert Algardo, before I continue. You're muted, Pastor.
Yes, no, you brought back good memories of those days that we were there in New York. That was in 2003, almost 23 years ago, and I think that was a good experience, learning experience for us, Brother Jairo, and ever since we continue to try to take our case to that Inter-American Human Rights Court, and I think was the last week in March that you all had that meeting.
Yes, yes, right. And we are making step. We know we will get soon to the thematic hearing, and we will reach to the court, that Inter-American court. Our people and we have it clear that we cannot limit to domestic and local national claims to the system of justice in Colombia. We have it clear, and we just want to share with the people that We believe those like them that we have to go to international instances, and we're just showing you here that we hadn't stopped in our least time. We had to learn and build ourselves. We get training from the best organization in Colombia that handle this inter-American system, like the Colectivo de Abogados Social Vía
Yeah.
Restrepo. We get the Ford Foundation to give us a coaching by them, and we improve in our knowledge, and we are stepping further to make the best use of this inter-American system of human rights.
Yeah.
We have to go to them. We have to, we cannot limit to the national claims. Many we see the sometimes the ineffectiveness of the system of justice in Colombia, and that's the reason why we exploring this. So next for us is to reach to um, the thematic hearing, as I said. Okay.
Yeah. Maybe Hyra, I don't know if people, because people hear about that a lot. Oh, we're going to take a case to the Inter-American Commission of Human Rights, but I don't know if they really know exactly what it is. But just very basically, um, this is what they call the IACHR, which is an international human rights body, and this forms part of the Organization of American States, only American states, the OAS, and basically its role is to protect and promote human rights across only the Americas, from North America down. And so, basically, when a state like Colombia fails to respect or protect the human rights of the people, and when those issues are not adequately resolved inside the country, that is very important to bear in mind, because they require that we exhaust every possible legal framework within the country. So when that is resolved, and the problem is not resolved inside the country, and we try everything, then you can take your case to the Inter-American Commission as a last and really serious step. And as you mentioned, this is the path the Raizal people have been pursuing now for the last 20 plus years. And if someone asks why are we doing that? Because, well, obviously we have suffered decades of human rights violations on our island. So even important steps have been taken at the national level in the courts here in Colombia, um, including one of the subjects that we are going to talk about today, which is the subject of collective reparation. Many structural violations, Brother Hiro, remain unresolved. So taking the case to the IACHR is simply a way for us as racial people to say we have exhausted national parks, we have done everything we can, our rights as a people have still not been fully protected, and we are seeking international justice. Justice.
Right.
So it's a long and serious process. So I think just to give our people a little basic idea what we are talking about there.
Good. And also to conscious them, we these cases at the Inter-American Commission, anytime they accept this and the process start there, it take a time, it take time. So those be
Plenty
aware of
time.
this. Yes, but we keep working, and we have alliance. We have alliance. Good, good, good. Well prepared, and we learning and working with them. We don't have to call the names them, not to expose them, but we have alliance in other countries, and we coming along. Okay, let's go along. Let's go to the next topic, reparations. Okay, and let's let it clear. We're talking about in this case this morning about the reparation as victims of the armed conflict in Colombia. We won't talk about the historical reparation that go far behind from slavery and from colonialism and the first chapter of colonialism upon our life. We talk about this recent one from the 90s that Colombia have established around their armed conflict problems, and they had created laws and advancing in it. And so that's the one that we'll treat about today. Okay, victims of the armed conflict in Colombia. There are many confusions on time, wondering if we are really victim, what we have to do with that. We really have to. We want to share a video of the Comisión de la Verdad. That is an instance in Colombia that went previous to take up information to prove, to have the facts. Because many things happen in the armed conflict, very confused, to the public. So they gone through this process first that they call to take up the truth of what went on. And they spent a lot of years there on that. They did it with the ethnic people, see how they was affected, indigenous, blacks, Raizales, and so I would just want to share a short video here because this one help us to understand better what we are going to talk about this morning with the SAI and that coming out. So those will take off Pastor Gardo and myself while we see this video roll. 1 second, please. El pueblo raizal se veía constantemente en un proceso de desplazamiento entre su territorio y venía siendo reemplazado paulatinamente. Había una política de Estado para esto, que nació en los años 1903, se intensificó en ese momento, después de la separación de Panamá de Colombia.
Cuando declararon a San Andrés Puerto Libre, se abrió para atraer un tipo de empresarios. La intención era sobrepoblar la isla para así poderla dominar. El Raizal no dependía del gobierno central para nada, porque tenía su propia economía. Su economía de la fábrica de grasa, de la exportación de coco, de la exportación de banana, de naranjas cítricos. Pero ¿qué hizo el gobierno? Prefirió quebrar nuestra economía para hacernos más dependientes del gobierno central. Eso no se dice. Eso el resto de Colombia no lo sabe.
Es un colonialismo difícil de tratar, pues inicia con un proceso de colonialismo mental, donde ataca la identidad cultural del pueblo raizal, directamente trata de mermar el ejercicio de su lengua, de su idioma. Eso derrumba todo el resto de la identidad cultural del pueblo raizal. Inicia en los años 1900 con castigos, imposiciones en las estructuras del Estado, en los colegios, la institucionalidad en las islas, prohibir a los niños en los colegios el hablar su propio lenguaje, lo estigmatiza. Esto es importante porque se quita del proceso educativo conocimiento de la historia. Entonces queda las generaciones del pueblo raizal desubicadas.
No podíamos hablarlo ni en el patio siquiera de los colegios, ni en el centro. Un policía que nos veía hablando nos escuchaba y como no nos entendía, decían que lo estábamos insultando y nos daba bolazos. Teníamos que salir corriendo.
Entonces, esa afectación de lo que llamamos colonialismo mental es la primera de la cual hay que liberarse el pueblo raizal. El físico es la apoderación del territorio, el desplazamiento de la comunidad del pueblo raizal dentro de su propio territorio, el haberlos hecho minoría dentro del territorio. el apoderamiento de las instituciones gubernamentales, el sistema de gobierno que se practica no viene de la expresión autónoma del pueblo raizal. Están viviendo un sistema extraño para ellos en un proceso de negociación eterna, donde no llega el Estado al punto de reconocer el derecho territorial del pueblo raizal. Otros capítulos que vienen es precisamente estos primeros carteles como que llegan a las islas como el cartel de Cali. Fue una racha de compra de tierras. Se apoderaron de una gran porción de tierras. Comenzaron a involucrarse en la industria hotelera, montando grandes hoteles y comprando tierras. El nativo raizal hasta el día de hoy, el Estado colombiano no lo ha protegido jurídicamente sus tierras, está al merced del mercado. El territorio raizal no tiene ese privilegio, aunque es también un pueblo étnico como los otros, no los ha protegido la Constitución del 91.
Pero el resto del país se invisibiliza nuestro problema y el turista que llega, sol, playa y mar. Entonces, ¿qué pasó acá? Los problemas, la violencia del interior del país nos la trajeron también. O sea, la gente en el interior del país cree que aquí no hay grupos armados. Aquí hay grupos armados al margen de la ley. El sicariato, las extorsiones y una cantidad de cosas.
Han utilizado algunos su situación de marginalización económica para que sean involucrados en labores mínimas y llevar gasolina a un barco que iba con droga al norte a otro lado. Y así se fueron involucrando poco a poco y la estigmatización se generalizó sobre el pueblo raizal. Ese narcotráfico sabemos que ha sido motor del conflicto armado. Es complicado vivir en una isla pequeña con pocas ofertas de empleo y con una situación de sobrepoblación. No es complicado entender eso. Entonces muchos optan por simplemente migrar, ese es el éxodo raizal. Hay los líderes espirituales, que la iglesia fue la institución que resistió y ha sido atacada. El que lideró la emancipación de los esclavizados en las islas, Philip Livingstone, su nieto, hubo 3 generaciones de ellos que lideró la primera iglesia bautista. La tercera generación salió de las islas escondidas por la persecución del Estado. Tuvo que salir por una persecución, por pararse en favor del pueblo. Un nuevo capítulo de persecución la adelantó el extinto DAS, el Departamento Administrativo de Seguridad del Estado colombiano. Ellos siguieron una vigilancia muy de cerca a varios líderes raizales que se dedicaban a defender los derechos del pueblo. En Colombia lo celebra, que son autónomos, que son soberanos. En cambio, para el pueblo raizal, hablar de autodeterminación era como un crimen, como un pecado. Y yo lo percibí cuando fundamos el movimiento raizal por la autodeterminación. Después lo entendí, que lucháramos por la autodeterminación era una estigmatización, nos causó una persecución hasta el día de hoy.
Qué triste es que hayamos entrado a la agenda del gobierno nacional por un huracán. Entonces, mi llamado al gobierno nacional, en primer lugar, es, por favor, si somos colombianos, que nos tengan en la agenda, pero somos unos colombianos diferentes, unos colombianos que teníamos una cultura, que teníamos una estructura económica, social, espiritual, diferente al resto, pero que no por eso dejábamos de ser colombianos. El gobierno nacional tiene que respetar, tiene que entender y tiene que reconocer que nos tiene que dar una reparación y tiene que reconocer que ellos avasallaron nuestra cultura, ¿sí? Nuestro territorio. Por desidia del gobierno colombiano, perdimos parte de nuestro territorio, que es el mar, ¿sí? Porque nuestro territorio no es únicamente las 3 o las 5 islitas o lo que forma los pedacitos de tierra de nuestro territorio, es también el maritorio, que para nosotros era fundamental porque a través del mar nosotros manteníamos nuestra relación con nuestros otros familiares de Centroamérica.
El raizal no existe sin su tierra. Decir San Andrés sin raizal es decir San Andrés para otros. No podemos separar la tierra de Raizal ni el Raizal de su tierra. La mejor manera de tratar a un Raizal es no tocar su tierra.
Hola, mi nombre es Elkin Robinson de la isla de Providencia. Esta canción es para unir a los pueblos Creole, Raizal, Palenque, mi gente del Pacífico, a los indígenas de todo el país, que nos unamos en una sola voz, porque somos gente unida por una sola historia, un solo sentir, una sola magia, una sola ancestralidad. Y bueno, quiero invitarlos a que conozcan más de nuestras culturas, de nuestros pueblos, nuestras comunidades, que este sea la continuación de esta maravillosa historia que hace algunos siglos empezamos a escribir. Esto se llama Colores y Libertad. Somos pueblos que renacen juntos. Somos gente que construye paz. Somos de gaitas y de tambores. Somos de islas y montañas. De polcas y marimbas, calipso, mento y cumbia. Somos de un río que recorre el alma. Somos raíces que florecieron, de bellas flores que marchitaron, sobreviviendo y perdonando, y nuestra voz es la esperanza. Que viva la verdad, y la verdad es el amor, es el amor, es el amor, es el amor, colores y libertad. Colores y libertad, colores y libertad, colores y libertad. My Creole people, come and get united. Pacific people, come and get united. Palenque people, come and get united. Colombian people, get united. Oh yeah, get united. Oh yeah, que viva la verdad. Y la verdad es el amor. Es el amor, es el amor, es el amor. Colores y libertad. Colores y libertad. Oh yeah.
Okay, how you see that, Pastor?
Yeah, man, very, 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 very inspiring, and I think you all explain and present the situation very clearly. You know what we Raizal people, Brother Jairo, experience was not the same armed conflict seen on mainland Colombia, because as you all explained, you know, on our island, the violence kind of took a different form, you know, but it was no less real and no less damaging. That our people really endured and continue to enduring the oppression and the victimization. We can see it every day on our streets, isn't it, Brother Jairo, with all the crime just this week again, or just last night, Brother Jairo. I understand that a young man was killed somewhere in the San Luis area, and this week or last week we buried a young man from on the hill, and just like that. So we are suffering this conflict, this violence, and the impact that we are suffering from what you all mentioned, like the drug trafficking and all of these things that turn our island into the criminal pressures into our communities. And so this conflict um, did not look like open warfare, like in Colombia with the guerrilla and all these things, but it fractured, and it's continued to fracture so many families. Um, our leadership, our leaders, damage our culture, and just threaten our survival as a people, or our survival, brother Hyro. Like just last night, I was laying down and just thinking how the survival of our people, of our island, if we really don't push on this demand for reparation and for transformation, especially we who are living out here in the diaspora, we I don't know. I don't. If we don't do something really, really drastic and urgent, we will have no island to go to. To go back and enjoy our people, our island, our bush, our mango, our culture, our tradition, our church. I mean, we are. I don't know. I mean, it just that video that you all show, and I was just really listening attentively. Just almost brought tears to my eye. Just to see, look back and see what is happening on our island.
Yes, we are messed up badly, badly, and we have to stand up strong with dignity to stop what going on historically and to repair it and restore back our harmony, peace, happiness on our territory and in our life.
Yeah.
Guarantee a sweet future for our generation to come, our children, grandchildren.
Yes.
This
Yes.
process, I try to show here, we try to show it is a long process. We try to conscious that we have been affected and damaged by this situation in Colombia, directly or indirectly, but more indirectly through the use of the drugs trafficking that use our strategic location and our skillfulness in the sea, and involved somehow, as I say, directly, indirectly. And we went through a process in 2023, in
Mm-hmm.
December, and mm, many months we meet a delegation from both islands. We were led by the Raizal Council, the Raizal Authority, working with the Unidad para las Víctimas in Colombia. We made an exercise to identify the victims or victims, and the collective affectation, because they handle two type of victims, individual victims, a person,
Yes.
like how you said, these people that they keep killing daily, or no daily, but constantly in our territory. And you have also, apart from individual victims, the collective victims. So we had to went through that extensive exercise in 2023 and prove to the state that we, the Raizal people, is a collective victim of the armed conflict in Colombia. There is a resolution that came out from that from the government, and that start a process. Start which the process to repair. There have to be an integral reparation, what they call. We have to build a comprehensive collective reparation plan, CCRP. In Spanish, they call it Plan Integral de Reparación Colectiva. So, after being recognized as a collective victim, that reparation need to done, but you have to go through a process. Um, we had to check up the office. I want to give recognition here. I personally had to step Bogota right in that office as Unidad para las Víctimas, approved the subdirector of reparation, compromiser. That was March 2023. And you have other Raizal that came before in this lengthy process. Brother Juan Ramirez, while he was in the consultiva, he did his great part. And you have other delegates from the national space of consultation that they part also in the process. And we had to go and this office had to tend to the whole country. So if you don't behind them, they will leave you apart, behind. So we have to go and drag them, and we went through, and that's how we get by December 2023, before the year out, we got through the exercise with the ombudsman office was the office to see if all the work that we did, the documenting that we built, identify the damages, them, and the justification, they validate it and they accept it, and then the unit that parallel victims give the final okay by a resolution. So we are ready, collective victims of the armed conflict. Last year, they delay after they recognize us from 2023. They take nearly 2 years. Finally, in September 2025, we get them to install like a prayer consultation for the reparation as collective victim. We did that in San Andres. The first part was in Providence, and it started. We have to refine that document of damages that we identify, that have to really clear and well elaborated, because it is on base of that we have to be very creative and skillful to identify ways of reparation in that reparation plan. And in the talk about reparation, you have different ways to repair. You don't think only to pass some money or pay, but also policies, laws, the goods them that we're talking, for example, of this office that is site handling, all those things, lands and so forth, have part. Those are a result of the same drugs trafficking that we are talking about here in this process of reparation from the armed conflict, where the drugs trafficking has this key in that process, because with the drug trafficking was the fuel that carry money to the guerrilla, to do the fight, and it carry money as well to the paramilitaries. Then, they pass arms through San Andres and Providence constantly from Central America, as they carry drugs that side to Central America and to the north. The boats will launch them back to Colombia with arms. So all those goods that they take away from the drugs trafficking, those hotels, for example, that we're talking about, like aquariums, Sunrise, as we explained in the video there of the Commission de la Verdad, are a result of the cartel, the Cali, and other cartel from the drugs trafficking that got on and start to buy out lands. The SOS give thanks. They had to come out and stand up strong and do what they could do at that time to mitigate that phenomenon. Today, it come around and they take away much of those hotels. They take away the state, the Sunrise, the aquarium, and a long list. It's the moment to make justice and give it to the victims, the collective victim of that situation. Not to give it to non-individual politician like how they commented with all these years until today, using corruption and influence to those pass it with wickedness and manipulation to specific name. That have to repair the full Raizal people. As we explained in the video, we had been affected in so many manner in our system of education. We need, as you are talking about ethno-education and the new decree that coming out for have ethno-educators, Raizal ethno-educators, Raizal school, and we agree that one of the main affectation is that mental colonization. A teacher 2 nights ago in our streaming program was talking about that we lack pedagogical materials to start to do that process at the school within the education. Well, part of this money that is taken away and that the side have to build those materials, have to reinforce those schools, they have to repair. Everything that the side have is not even sufficient to repair what have done to us. So that's why we do this connection here. We want to talk about the side right now, but we are making the connection here between this topic of reparation as collective victim, okay? Reparation as collective victim, in which we are already in that process. We don't be recognized 2023. We install the prayer consultation 2025 and 2026. By the end of this month, we are taking back up the process to refine the document of damages done to start build the integral plan to how they want to repair us.
Exactly. Exactly, Brother Hyro, and it's important for our people to know that this plan only works if the people stay informed. And that's why we are doing this report. But also, we need to keep united and we need to be involved. Because, reparations are not something that happens to us, they are something we build and defend together. So the collective reparation plan um, is not about the past alone, neither, Brother Hiram. The past is the past. You know, it's about rebuilding our future as Raizal people. It is the state, the Colombian state, recognizing that our suffering um, and affectation was real, but it was collective and unjust, and that our survival as a people deserves protection and restoration. So this is a long road, long road, but it is a necessary one. And this time it begins with our truth finally being recognized in that resolution that you mentioned. So I think we just need to continue the process and really, really recognize that this is not charity, Brother Jairo. Anyway, when we go on the other topic, we can talk other things.
Yeah, from this process of the armed conflict in Colombia and the reparations and the attention to victims, the state, the Congress came out and the executive with a list of laws and decrees around that. They have special decree for the indigenous. They have a decree even for the Rom ethnic people, the
Mm-hmm.
we call it the Gypsy in Colombia, and they have an next decree for the blacks and the Raizales and Palenqueros. And well, those decrees are out good while from 2011, decree for the law 4635. But he had a failure in the sense that it wasn't gone through a prior consultation with the blacks to guarantee that it will do a proper effect to repair the black people and the Raizales. So the national space of prior consultation, of which the Raizal people are part of it, went through the prayer consultation, and the good news last month, March, they finally protocolized the regulation or the regulation of that decree, and they signed it last week, I think, yes. And he have good things in there, like for example, that situation where displaced people in Colombia from the continent keep coming and using the islands like refugee, by the decree was given way that they can go any part of the island of Colombia, and established while the state protect them. Many came to San Andres, and we know that we keep complaining that they should have a special treatment in this case for San Andres and Providence because we are overpopulated and we are already victims. Well, good news in the regulation of that decree that had been fixed, that they cannot come again. They have to recognize that this is an exception in Colombia, San Andres, Providence, and Catalina, because the right to circulate, you know, already restricted because situation of overpopulation that we pass in and threat of extinction as a people. So finally, this decree get in harmony during the prior consultation, and that's a positive news. We develop a special program for the on around this with the delegate, the Raizal delegate in that space. That is Brother Riley Hawkins. We will have him, and we will go through this to share this in more detail. But this is something a part of the process of reparation.
Brother Jairo, could you maybe just briefly share what this would look like in practical and concrete terms? What reparation in this case would look like? Just some examples, maybe in concrete terms, that people maybe can know what are the expectations about this process of reparation. If
Yes.
you have. You have any?
As you was, yeah, I was saying, there are different ways in this reparation. It's not only economically or financially, okay, but it can be projects, it can be programs, it can
Mm-hmm.
be policies, it can be laws, it can be goods, okay. The projects and the program them need, you make a project and the project need money and need how you call it, goods in kinds, if you have a building already, well, put it as part of the project. If you want to design a project, for example, to, let's say, for example, a project in education or health or productive activity, you know you need money as well. If you need, say, if you buy a building, well, maybe you got a building there already. You don't have to buy. You don't have to put the money. Just take that building from where? From where? From those that the site have. You need a vehicle. Okay, you have some here. You take from there. You know, but that's a process. As you asked me the question, that we have. You say we have to do it carefully and analyze and understand the concept of reparation, and that we have the right, understand the damages them first. We have that document. If we want to share that in that program that I'm telling about, we share one by one that long list of damages, that we went through. Yes, we apologize. We still continue having some technical problem.
Yes,
Okay.
yes. Like we were off
Yes.
for some minutes.
Yeah. Okay. So if you agree, Pastor, this topic with the reparation from the armed conflict, uh, we try explain it very briefly from the antecedents. As I say, we have a special program for the and those parties, but we
And
hope we
Ira,
get
we are
over
getting. I think we are getting to the end of the Good News Radio
radio.
program. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So.
I don't know if we're on the radio this morning, because down here they have a situation with internet in the island. In the island, uh,
Oh.
good, good say, well, we are, connected from a different source, so we get out of that problem. Yes,
Oh.
so we still, if they are hearing us, we're not sure. We those give thanks for the radio listeners, and we invite you to connect to our social media, our channel on YouTube, Facebook, X, Twitter, and Twitch.
Yes.
Okay, so this topic around the preparations, we left it there. We announced we are working on that. The Raizal Authority are working on that. This same end of month or the first part of next month, we taking back up the process to build the reparation plan. And we want to involve the people. We ask the state, the government, the Unidad para las Víctimas to sponsor and help economically with that plan. Okay? If we build that plan, that we get professionals with us, we haven't get a positive answer from them. We try to explain them that it is necessary. Any process you go into like this, the ethnic people need to be supported with professionals. They cannot expect that we don't allow the mass of people individually and say we're doing things. The presence of the mass is what legitimate the process indeed, but we need the people them that are specialized. We need professionals to help build this and do this. This is a serious thing that we are working on, something that historically we calling for, and they are not given the resources that we are calling for this. We have to be relying on the Raizal diaspora. And like one of the things that we wanted from the state was a way to communicate. We are doing it right now on the streaming program that we do it, what we have here. And thanks to the sponsor of the diaspora, Pantaraya Foundation, that we are doing that people out from outside, and we get other resources to help in other elements that we need to go through this process of preparation, having a really full participation, transparent and democratic with our people. The state have to put. We need the sponsor the paying of some professionals. We keep making the effort on our own, but they have the responsibility to do that. Just like us to share this before we move on.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, in practical terms, we need institutions and leadership. We need culture. We need music. We need language. We need business. We need with so many ways in which reparation would affect, as you mentioned. Our rights as people as a collective people, not just individually, but as collective. So I think this is a really important process, Brother Jairo, and definitely we have to keep pushing hard on it and get the people involved. We need them to be involved. So that's why in being informed is crucial right now.
Good. Yes. So we stepping now on the next topic of this accountability report. We had it entitled as SAI. Well, SAI is our office. We want to entitle it this way: the assets that seized from the illicit activities like the drugs trafficking. Those assets, lands, buildings, vehicles, etc., you know, are managed by this office that we call the SAI, Sociedad de Activos Especiales. So in this, what we can say here, we got something happening right now downtown at the Hotel Aquarium that have to do with this struggle. We want to go into detail right now, but let's look about the antecedent behind all this. We had shared part of the antecedent behind all this. That video that we shared there that talk about the truth behind the armed conflict in Colombia, you know, and the connection with the archipelago and with the Raizal people. We share that. That got to do with this asset seized from drugs trafficking, from illicit activities, okay? And also as antecedent, it's good to mention what existed before the SAI. They had in Colombia, they call it Dirección Nacional de Estupefacientes. You remember that office, Pastia? National Directory of Narcotics. That office functioned until 2011, you know, they liquidated, and for that they created the SAI, okay? That office had a reputation of, I believe, some of the biggest corruption they ever know about in Colombia. Because they take the goods and the assets that they take away from drug traffic that should go and be put to the people. These people at that office use it to get it back even to the same ones them that get condemned, or to them friends, or to politicians or congressmen, etc. That happened. It was a scandal, and they done away with that office. They create this next one I told you, and this one is being questioned badly of being repeating much of what that DNA used to do. Okay, that's as part of the antecedent. I don't know if you like to say anything there. In 2012, like I said this before, I remember in 2012 when they was liquidating the DNA, Dirección Nacional de Estupefacientes, we sent a letter there. It was signed by Pastor Raymond as president of MNSD and by myself. At that time, I was starting into the national space of prayer consultation, and I signed it with Pastor Raymond. They went to that office, the DNA in liquidation, asking them to stop the what they was doing with the goods, with the assets here that they was managing, like the hotels and the lands and so, because they was abusing and giving it wrong destination. We sent a letter, remember, and we asked for a inventory of what they had. 2012 last year. And you know today how hard it's still to get an inventory from this office on the side. Just wanted to give that local part of antecedents. We have to give this antecedent. We want to give the report of this year and last year, but you have to connect, you have to contextualize and understand what we're talking about.
Exactly. So yeah, the SAI manages the assets, as you were saying, and funds seized from criminal activities. But this is not, I mean, this include land, houses, buildings, businesses, commercial properties, hotels, vehicles, aero boats. I have never heard. I am sure they have seized boat and vehicles in San Andres, and I know we don't hear about none of those. And obviously financial resources, money that they have in the bank and so on. And obviously these assets come from drug trafficking, organized crime assets, extinguished and that are confiscated. So the SAI does not own the assets. They just administrate them temporarily on behalf of the Colombian state. And by law, SAI administer assets. The properties that they administer must be used for reparation of victims, Brother Hira, as we were just talking, for social and community purposes. And so because many of these assets were generated through criminal activities that affect our Raizal territory, as we spoke earlier, through the drug trafficking. Now we as Raizal people are officially recognized as subject of collective reparation that we just talked about. Even before that, because the law said, but this Hiro, strengthen that law. So there is this legal and moral we have a legal and moral basis to demand transparency about what they are doing with the resources, and participation in decisions about how it is used, and that these resources must contribute directly to the collective reparation and the restoration of our people. So in short, the SAI administers the assets, but the state has the obligation to ensure that they serve justice, that they repair and the well-being of the people who are affected, which in our case is the Raizal people.
Yep.
So
Good.
we not only have the law, Brother Jairo, the law, all these laws that talk about how the resources must be invested, but now that resolution that you spoke about, that also strengthen the law.
Yes. Very good. Okay, so we give that antecedent. What we can say recently, letters going back and forth, try to deal in a nice way, friendly way with the national government and with the SAI. In 2014, the Raizal Authority in a meeting in Bogota with the Vice Ministry of the Social Dialogue, we had the SAI there around the table with us. We talk in a civilized way and exact in a nice and respectful way to do the things the right way and give these goods the proper destination that it benefit the people and so forth. They did compromise really to correct certain behaviors and actions in 2024 November. Unfortunately, well, things were starting to look good. They come around, they make some meetings, they offer to destinate goods to the people and so forth. But we have to say we still seeing some attitudes there and procedures very questionable and suspicious. God forgive us if we are making mistake, but we have the right to have them to be fully transparent so we don't guess in anything like that. Okay, so that had been 2024 until today. The way how we approach this office in a nice way, with how some people like to say romantic letters. We come to the point that we conclude now, we had to take over the place there in town, the Hotel Aquarium, led by the Raizal Council in the Raizal Authority, of through a speech that we have that there was, we see actions around that give like they have the intention to sell it, you know, and yeah, we have a long list of things very questionable. And 14th of April, we did that, and there is a what they call a pliego de peticiones in Spanish, or a list of demands, around 16 points that we will share with the people that we submitted to this office, the SAI, with copies to the presidency, and other ones that have to do with this. Okay. Demanding what? Not only this particular issue with the Hotel Aquarium, but in many more other hotels, you know, and questioning and exacting to correct the procedures the way they do when they finally make the extinction de dominio on these things, and then that the last they have to pass it to the gobernación, and the gobernación should destinate it prioritarily to the Raizal people, to social projects. And we explained in a past program that we did fully around this topic that that is not happening in the right way. And unilaterally, the governor is taking decision that he don't have the faculty to do, because he is not the Raizal governor, nor the Raizal authority, nor the, you know, he have to consult with the people. If the law we don't gain in the law established that it should be designated to the Raizal people. He cannot unilaterally decide if we need it or not need it and what he going to do with it. Like, for example, a land that he give away to the system of justice not so long. Okay, so that they amongst the long list of demands. And next to come up is legal action. No more love letter or romantic letter, but a legal action that Pastor Gardo is helping to lead along with our team of attorneys to try put a stop definitely to the situation. Yes.
Yeah. So
Yes, but
this situation at the Hotel Aquarium is not an isolated issue. It's just one example. You know, it is a clear and concrete example of how the side properties are being managed without proper consultation with the Raizal people, despite the territory and community being directly affected. You know, Hotel Aquarium is a property currently, I think, under the administration of the SAI. And in recent weeks, the SAI has shown serious intention, as you mentioned, to sell this property. Moving forward with decisions that could permanently remove it from us. If they sell it to one of these big investors, private company, you think they are going to? We lose complete access to it. You know, we might at some point get some of the funds that they might sell it, and you know, but it's not that. Is the ownership of the property, and this is something, Jairo, that is in the sea. So it's like we selling our sea, not only, you know, this that's why this thing with the Hotel Aquarium is very symbolic, is very serious. And their intention really you know, bring concern, you know, among us as people, because no prior consultation, no dialogue, no participation process was carried out, you know, with the Raizal people. Even though the property is located in our ancestral Raizal, is like the how to put it, Brother Jairo, is like if you have your land where you live, and when you come tomorrow, you find people in the land and say, no, we are selling the land. You know what I mean? And you didn't even know nothing about it. So that's why, in response to this violation, the Raizal Council and the MNSD movement and other leaders of the community, Sister Ophelia and others and community members began to peacefully sit in at the Hotel Aquarium, which has now continued for several days. And I don't know if we need to encourage people, but we need support in many ways. But this sitting is an act of nonviolence resistance. That's all we call it, Brother Hiron. Nonviolence resistance and self-defense of collective rights. And what is the purpose? It's not for confrontation. We are not looking for a confrontation, but to stop decisions that are being taken behind closed doors, and to demand respect for the Raizal people's right to be heard. And that's why we are protesting there. We want transparency. We want the suspension of any process of sale until meaningful dialogue occurs. And not only until meaningful dialogue occurs. Look at how much dialogue occurs. Selling is not an option. Recognition that the side assets must contribute to collective reparations, and respect for territorial and our culture and our participation as Raizal people. You know, so
Pastor, let's endorse share the title of the 16 petition here.
okay.
Let's see them here. Number 1, suspension, immediate suspension. You go ahead, please.
I'm
Number
gonna see
1,
good on the too small for me.
too small. Oh,
Yeah,
okay. Well, make up. Bring up. Give me a second. Make a
because
to the
I
screen
am
and
on my phone. I dip on my phone and
yeah.
it's small.
Wait a while. Give me a chance. Make see how we can better this. Ryan, see if you can use the next format there. More adequate. Let's see if you this one you don't see it neither, right?
No, you know, either the same way.
Yeah, the same way.
Yeah,
Okay.
I can't see the
I I will try read it from this side.
Okay.
Wait a while, wait a while. Let me see how we do this. Okay. The first one, it said, number one request is to immediately suspend the procedures that going on there at the hotel aquarium. Okay, that's the first petition. The second one is asking for complete public information, transparency. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
public information about the hotel aquarium also. That's the number two request there. Um, then the number three, let me see if is about to comply immediately the law and the plans that exist. Stick to it. Number four is to have a special model of administration or management of those goods with participation of the Raizal. Number fifth is to deliver those goods that are already extincted. Why this point number fifth is because they extincted many and they just keep it, having it there, renting it for many years, and giving the benefit to others and don't continue the process to deliver it to the governorship and from there to the rice people. Sixth, the destination of those goods and resources, as the law said, prioritarily to the Raizal people, not optional. Okay, prioritary as the law say. While we have needs, social affairs or issue, they should reach those, and we have needs more than what the site can pay for with those goods. Number seven is effective participation and prior consultation process around this thing. It cannot be done anymore unilaterally by no one, no public authority or functionary. Number eight is to do accountability report, public accountability report to everybody, to all of us. Make everybody know what is there. We're not asking it to be done thus to we, the Raizal authority, that close a room or nothing like that. No, we want everybody to know what they have and what they are doing. And number nine is asking for a complete inventory of those goods in the archipelago. Let us know how much building you have, how much hotels, how much apartments, how much vehicles, how much lands, etc. etc. Number 10 is to do a priority review of certain specific goods, like, for example, la CM Hotel Aquarium, Marasol, the Green Moon, La Pier, Hotel Sunrise Beach, the Tres Casitas, the TW Bar, the Cosur, and others. Some specific one that we have very some suspicion, questionable affair with them. Number 11 is to do a auditing and investigation of those irregularity. To have a staff, a professional that look on them, zoom over those specific cases, for us to know really what went on and what going on. Number 12 is to set up a table, to review certain cases where they vinculate third people in those process with drugs traffickers, might be people that are families to them, and they end up, trying to claim that some of the things them that these families have coming from those that they condemn, and they are mistaken in many of them. That's why we want to go through and revise one by one. We're not going to take up and justify anyone that really have to do with those illicit affair, but families that don't have anything to do and that they're trying to take away their properties, we're calling to revise those cases around a table. Number 13 is to suspend those measurements that they made already on those type of cases that we are questionable. And 14 is to make a special route of protection for those third parties that with the principle of good faith, we assume that they are not involved in that. Okay, when we go through it, we will know the final truth of it. And immediate institutional table, to manage these processes with those goods, having delegates from the presidency office, from the side, the governor, and the ombudsman office, Contraloría, Procuraduría, etc. Number 16 and the last one is to have a make it like a timetable, of the commitment them that we will reach to, a timetable of those commitment where we can follow up, in the time to see if they are complying with it or not. Does not mean that they come and shake up themselves and go back to the same thing, but we'll get to some agreement with some timing and giving time for things, and we regularly will come together around that table to do the following up. That is it, more or less, the 16 points them that is there on that list of demands or pliego de peticiones right now of the protest at the Hotel Aquarium.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's a very complete list, and it shows, why these discussions and matters. These discussions are important today. The peaceful sit-in, led by the Raizal Council and Amen and other leadership, reminds us that recognitions mean little without participation, Brother Jairo. We need consultation and we need respect for our collective rights. And this case is just a test of whether the state's words on reparation will be matched by actions. All these issues are really connected and they speak on our struggle. But I would like to say just one, because I think we soon finish by the hierarchy. But
Right.
I think we need to, is a call for unity as Raizal people. We need to speak honestly and responsibly about being unified. We cannot continue going to meetings with the national government divided, openly arguing among ourselves, or saying that our own institutions do not represent us. When we do that, we weaken our collective voice and undermine our own struggle. So we must be clear about this. Unity does not require everyone to agree on everything. You may not feel personally represented by the Raizal Council. You may disagree with decisions or the leadership styles or positions, and that is valid. And it is healthy to debate those issues among ourselves. But disagreement does not erase the legitimacy of the Raizal authority. It does not. In any society, Brother Jairo, there are authorities that represent the people as a whole, even when not everyone agrees with them. Disagreement does not cancel representation. That is a big mistake. What matters is that institutions exist, are recognized, and act on behalf of the collectivity. So the Raizal Council is our official authority, whether you agree or disagree. Denying that before the national government does not strengthen our cause at all. It weakens us. So we cannot destroy ourselves from within and expect to achieve justice and the reparation that we want. Going to the national spaces showing division only sends one message, that we are not ready to defend our rights as a people. And that is not only irresponsible, I think it is harmful, and I would say it is selfish. If there are problems, we must meet as Raizal people and solve them internally. If there are disagreements, Brother Hiro, we handle them with respect, but with maturity. And but when we stand before the government, we must do so as one people. So as someone was mentioning yesterday, I don't know if it was you or who, but every Colombian, everybody agree with Petro. Not even Uribe, where disagree with Petro, can say Petro is not the president of Colombia. And if Colombia is going to negotiate with the United States or with any other country, can Petro say no? Him not represent me. So listen to the United States. Listen to me. No listen to him. Then can't do that because Petro is the president of Colombia, whether you agree with him or not agree with him. So we really have to go to this meeting with responsibility and with maturity. And if we have disagreement, if we have misunderstanding with one another, we trust that all among ourselves. But we can't go to these meetings and tell the national government, no, the Raizal Council not represent us. No, man, we have to get more serious on that, man.
Good. Thank you, Pastor. We reached to we end point here at the second mission of the accountability report of the Raizal Council. April 17, 2026. Sunday, we'll have a next emission, a special emission on Sunday evening, 5 p.m. April 19, of the third part for our accountability report. We will deal with those some specific topics, around education. And next week, Friday, again, we continue with a fourth emission. With total, we will be having 5 emissions to get over to our people the report of all what we are doing in behalf of them in their representation by the Raizal Council, the Raizal Authority. So we end here today, giving thanks to everybody. If you would like to close us, Pastor, with a word, those please.
Yes.
So before we.
Yes. So Heavenly Father, again, we thank you for allowing us to be here this morning, for sharing. We pray that you will continue to guide us, protect us, Lord. We pray for a hedge of protection around our people, around our leaders. We pray that you will be with our brothers and sisters standing up there at the Hotel Aquarium. And I pray, Lord, that you will touch the heart and minds and soul of the government, of those leading these processes to really fulfill the law, to comply with their duties and to respect the dignity of our people. And that we, Lord, will be strong, will be united, will be bold in reclaiming our rights and standing up strong for our people. So bless this time, bless this day, and may your Holy Spirit, Lord, continue to guide us in everything we do. We cannot do it without you. In your precious name we pray. Amen.
Amen. See you next emission. Goodbye.
Raizal people, it's time for the uprising. Let us rise and shine.
When things go wrong, as they sometimes will, when you feel like giving up, as you try to bother him,
when you feel like smiling, but your heart feels so tricky, yeah. Don't give up, rest if you will, but keep your unbroken will, yeah.
like the sun, the moon, and the stars in the sky. Again and again, lift your head high. So please, don't you cry. He will satisfy.
Again, Mr. Rice, I shall rise. When no have time to cry, everything will be fine. We have to stand strong, it's time to move on. We have to reach to the stars, to the moon, to the sun.
This is something me want to know if you understand. Rise and people give thanks to the Almighty One. Cause all of the grown are singing song. Rise and shine, so shall sing in a this a song.
Rise and shine rise. When there is day, there will be hope. Rise and shine rise. That is for sure. Standing up so I reach for your goal. Let us all unite with one heart and soul.
One day our hearts will no more be hurt. All the pain and suffering rise up, it will surely work.
The day we come together and stand up with determination. Rise our nation. We shout out for liberation. To take back the territory. Cause this land that we fight the free, our being. The chains and bandits are calling.
Far away from home, still worry about their own. Let us twinkle and people nice. They fucking had to run.
Waiting for it, diaspora, through the island in the sun. Rise and shine out your rise and all the daughters and sons, yeah.
And again will be nice. Do not yourself anymore. Sense of belonging must be sky high. Stand up, sunrise now. I'll be sun up the sky.
Leave the eye nights of your Roman fears. Just remember that come when the morning clear. Pray that you have put your hand up in the air. In that your hand everything gone clear.
Wake up and live, rise and we soon clear the hill. If we stick together still, no way they could break our will. It's time to be great again. Arise and shine. Wake up and live. Uyaka, sayaka, mayaka. To free oneself from this corruption. So there will be no more pollution. From colonizers, barbaration. In the name of the creator of creation.
Line ho, uyu line lelo mwana meme, mwana wanjelu. Line ho,
Line, oh, uyu